the price that people will pay to live next to what is essentially a man-made tube of shitty water. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Pete Rambles On. Just leaving the city centre behind me on my Monday morning walk. My challenge for today, if you can hear me above the traffic noise, is to walk to Warrington. Something like 18 or 19 miles. And I shall be starting pretty much in the same vein as I did the other day when I walked to Altrincham, so following the Bridgewater Canal, which I'll be joining probably in about a mile or two. Nice little walk along the canal to Altrincham via Sale, and then see where it takes me from there. So I'll keep you updated as soon as we go. And here I am back on the canal as I was the other day. Beautiful day it's turning out to be, and what a lovely walk it's going to be along the canal side here now. Glad to get off the main road there, although I did take a slight diversion from my route the other day and avoided the A56 I think it's called, and came down the old Chester Road instead. So here I am on the canal, and I'll update you soon. Look at that canal. What a beautiful still day it is today. Just like a sheet of glass, you can see the reflection of all the trees and bushes in the canal as you walk along. Beautiful. And so we leave that string of boats behind, some with some strange names. Giggling Cod was one that I remember, and crossing this strange bridge which seems to lead over a river, and I'm guessing that's the River Mersey down there. And as we go under this enormous bridge, I can only imagine that this is the actual M60. The M60 ring road, of course, that circles Greater Manchester with routes into the city centre. But we continue along the canal. Quite a hive of activity here on the canal today. Canal boats galore, cyclists on this path, even though it's only 10:30 now in the morning, and we're approaching, as you can see in the distance, the bridge that marks the town of Sale. And as you can tell by the expensive, I would imagine, apartments cascading down to the waterfront, that this is somewhere people like living. So decided to push on straight through Sale. Could have stopped there and had a drink or sit down or some kind of refreshment, but decided to push on. Sale is a weird place. As you saw just now, there are some quite posh, expensive apartments. It's on the boundary, I guess, of places outside of Manchester, as you head down into Cheshire, where you eventually get to places where the footballers live, Man United and that kind of thing. But Sale is a weird one. It's kind of on that border and has a combination of posh apartments and scuzzy shops. Really weird. So pushing on to Altrincham, next stop. Can you see that? Heron, just by the side of the canal. Try not to disturb it. Can you see that? Beautiful. Not scared at all. So proudly just standing there. Wow. That's the closest I've ever been to a heron. Hello, mister. I'll leave you alone. Isn't that beautiful? So tame. Hope you catch some fish for lunch, mate. Wow. Have a good day. Confident little chappy. See you later, mate. And onward to Altrincham. Taking for bloody ever, this. Look at this monstrosity here. Bet they're expensive. And there's another one. Monstrous. The price that people will pay to live next to what is essentially a man-made tube of shitty water. And so it's with glee and some intrepidation that I now leave the canal, get run over on this strange little bridge with traffic lights by some posh git in his posh car, and begin my journey by road. How far will I get? And so bizarrely, just 2 or 3 minutes after leaving the canal, I find myself inhaling the beautiful smell of freshly cut hay and on what I believe is called the South Pennine Trail or something similar. And those cyclists, which you may or may not be able to see in the distance, very friendly, just told me that this trail leads all the way to Warrington. Very good. They were shocked though that I was walking there and not cycling. Apparently it's going to be about 3.5 hours from here, so I'll keep you updated. Gonna have to stop in a minute for some drinking and food. Some drinking and food. Yeah, I'm losing the plot. This is just one long alleyway. I know I talked about this the other day, but this is just one long alleyway with trees arching over the path. And I can only imagine that at some point this used to be a railway line. I think I saw a sign somewhere saying the Lymm Valley railway line, so perhaps that's what it is. Probably another one of Beeching's tracks that he got rid of back in the whenever it was, 1920s, was it? Well, that's a large stand of giant hogweed. Horrible stuff. So I must be just coming across a river here. Little bridge there. And I think we've just come through Dunham Massey or past Dunham Massey Country Park. And roughly 7.5 miles to go, I think, just approaching a place called Lymm, as in Lymm. And an unusual sight over in the field down there. People actually I can get close enough. Loading, can you see that? Loading the old-fashioned bales of hay, or probably straw that is, onto the back of their truck. Good old-fashioned way. Had to stack them good in them days. I don't know what gave me the idea to walk to Warrington. Can't remember now what triggered that particular town as my destination. Perhaps it's because it's halfway to Liverpool. I think that's what it was. And I intended to walk to Liverpool in 2 days. Well, I can tell you this. I've got about 5 miles probably to Warrington. I'm knackered. My feet are killing me. And there are 2 other things to think about. Yes, it's been a beautiful walk alongside the canal for half of it to Altrincham, and just over the second half, just over the 18k or miles, whatever it is, 18.5 miles. Just a little bit more than halfway from Altrincham, more or less all the way through Lymm to Warrington, is what is now like a bridle path, footpath, the old train line. Again, in the middle of the countryside, beautiful, couldn't go wrong. However, because it's an old train line, it's straight, pretty much straight, flat, pebbly or tarmacky, and relentless, just relentless. Oh, I'll be glad when I get to Lymm. I'm looking forward to a pint. Okay, so a quick update. It's now 1:25, I think. So I've been walking for just over 4.5 hours, and I can't be more than 4 miles or so from Warrington itself. I've just passed through, past Lymm, if that makes sense. The old Transpennine Trail that I'm on seems to skirt the border of Lymm, doesn't actually go into it. So I just passed a pub just now to start in. I thought, shall I stop, or shall I just continue and have a nice pint when I get to Warrington? And so I thought, oh, sod it, I'll stop, take my shoes and socks off, air my feet for a bit, have a nice pint and or 2. And guess what? I got to the front door, looks like a lovely place, big beer garden, opens at 3. So sorry, I'm not hanging around for them. Beautiful sunny day like today, and they're open at 3. Think of all the custom you could have got, guys. So anyway, I'm going to continue down now this familiar looking tunnel of leaves, and I'll catch up with you if or when or just before I get to Warrington itself. You may have felt that I was moaning just a little bit earlier when I was complaining about the pathway through the trees and the walk along the canal being slightly monotonous, but at least I didn't, when I decided to go to Warrington, have to come along anything like this. Big main roads, and flying above this main road here, the M6 motorway. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Whew. So I think I'm on the outskirts of Warrington now, and this bridge, I believe, is passing over the Manchester Ship Canal. See a railway bridge in the distance there, then some other kind of contraption, and what is probably the M60 motorway that we passed under, not the M60, the M6 perhaps, that we passed under earlier. And round, look at the old bridge, and if I'm right, and that's where it continues down to Liverpool and the open sea. This road into the outskirts, through the outskirts of Warrington, is a long, boring road. Can't wait for it to be over, to be honest with you. 23 minutes left, according to my map. And just little delights, like that weir over there, and this huge expanse of water, just to amuse me on the way in. And literally just 2 seconds away from that previous video of the weir, crossing this bridge. Can you see what I'm looking at? Not very good quality close up. It looks like a pair of comets, I think. Stood there probably like similarly to what heavens do, but almost completely black apart from the yellow underbill.